All right, so let me share again the screen. We'll talk about syllabus. Again, just very quickly, textbook is required in the sense that you need to read the textbook to do well in this class. But I don't really expect you to buy. The reason is this textbook is very expensive and they do not have newer versions. And unfortunately, bookstore didn't have a good deals with it. And I used different textbook which has a newer versions, but they students didn't like it. I didn't like it, so I ended up going back to the textbook that previous instructor taught. So this is the original textbook in this class before I start teaching. But I changed multiple times just so that it becomes cheaper because this textbook is so expensive that I really can't imagine that somebody will pay $200 to buy a textbook. But I know that electronic version you can get it from cheaper. If you can, by all means do that. But again, because of COVID, I personally try to do as much I can so that you don't have to buy if you have any financial constraint. That's why I'm going to share the only page that is related for this class lectures. Everything else you don't need to read. But if you want to know a lot more about environmental engineering, you should have a textbook. It's a worth investment if you can buy it cheap, second hand or any other way. And second is grading. Um, the biggest difference is that I changed the no participation credit. That's used to be 5%. The reason is it's unfair because some students will attend live lectures, some students cannot. So it's very difficult to know how to have that participation credit. So I with that requirement. So I keep that, I add that to quiz. The quiz will be online using the CCLE. So we'll have 15 minutes window to answer 10 questions. And you can do that within 24 hours after it's released. So any 15 minutes after 24 hours, within 24 hours. And so this will be CCLE. You'll answer that multiple choice questions, no calculations, maybe minor calculations. Again, all are open book. You'll have lots of practice on in during this discussion session with TA. Also, we'll have questions during the class. Example quiz questions I'll share or discuss during live lectures. We'll have discussion during that time. So we'll have multiple practice. For homework, 15%, that's related to the second half of the course or the second half of the class where I'll have long questions solved recorded videos. And again, you can ask those questions because this will not be a live. So you'll lose that opportunity to ask questions. But I expect you to ask those questions for the in the YouTube channel on the side. Um, then midterms and finals. Again, midterms and yes, the question was Andrew asked question is the quiz exams are open or not? Yes, all the exams are open or not because I really don't have any way to see what you're doing now. Also, I don't believe in closed book systems because I think you should have all the informations to answer the questions. Also because of Zoom, it's very difficult to make it closed book. So every exams, every questions are open book. Okay. Um, uh, quiz are timed. Yes, all the quiz are 15 minutes timed. So CCLE will block you out if you go beyond 15 minutes. But you can open it anytime, So unless you open, it's 24-hour window. So you maybe not 3 hours after posting you open it, but once you open it, time starts from that time. Same thing for exams or final exams. So there'll be like, normally we give 2 hours for midterms and 4 hours for 3 hours for finals. You'll have twice as much time because of COVID, because of possible disturbance. But you will have 24 hours or sometimes to post it. Again, you will prepare you for quiz, homework, midterms, and finals. So I think the best way you can do is engage in this class, engage via all these different channels, solve example questions, watch them, do it again. You should be able to do well. I'll post the YouTube channel link. I have not posted anything, but I'll share that. Exam quiz. Again, this is a. I have to check. If it is. It's better to have 24 hours window because I know that some students are not here. Now, something I didn't expect. Many of the students are internationally in a different countries. So it will be very challenging for them to even have 12 hours. So that means it will be 24 hours. Within 24 hours, you have to post your solutions.
Professor,
Yes,
you said that the quizzes are they have a 24-hour window.
yes.
But once we open the quizzes, you said that we have 15
15
minutes.
minute to yes.
Okay.
So you'll prepare for it and then you open it. Don't click on it until you are ready. Okay. Um, Final is not cumulative. That means in everything you solve for midterms is all done. Everything after the midterms will be in the final. But the concept you learn during midterms will come back again in the final. So it's really cumulative, but you can't ignore the things you learn in midterms. The exams are mixed conceptual questions. I'll share again example question from last year's so that you have an understanding. Again, this is a different textbook, so the question might be a little different based on the questions in the textbook, but the concept are all same. It's not any different. And the quizzes, most of the times calculators are not needed. Okay, this is mostly like yes or no type answer or multiple choice. Even if there is a calculation, it will be very minor calculations. Something like you can do in any on even Google. Um, Prerequisite, as I said, no, this class doesn't have prerequisite, but I expect you to have some basic understanding about these things that I saw it here. But having said that, I'll give you some understanding in the recording materials. Anytime you do not understand something or you forgot, feel free to share that questions. I may share more materials with you for you to read so that we don't waste the class time in the topics that you should be knowing before. All right, so that's end of the syllabus. Any questions related to syllabus?